Here's an interesting story. A lot of people were always interested in finding out, how did Angel Mountain become Angel Mountain, the big, huge 18,000 square foot, $10 million recording studio? Because no one knew where it came from, and it was in Bethlehem, which is another place they were wondering where it came from. So after I had worked at Planet Medley and left there, I took a job working for Angel Mountain and running their pro audio department. And when I first started, it was just a couple guys and me. We were working out of a house that had a nice studio in it, but it was just a big house with a studio. And I started around 2000 on that. And the owner wanted to put together a bigger facility. And he talked to Pilcher Schuster, and they were designing the place. They made all the designs for this big, huge facility. And the owner, Gary Sloyer, was taking it to different construction people and said, well, can you quote me a price on what it would cost to do this so I could go to the bank and see if I can get the money? And nobody wanted to quote a price. They were only interested if they became a partner in it somehow. So, make a long story short, this one company became a partner, and they started building the facility. And the interesting thing is, the banks were okay with building a gigantic facility. They weren't okay with building a medium-sized facility. So that's why it wasn't supposed to be as big as it became, but it was easier for the owner to get the financing and get the partners on board. So that's where that huge facility came. I'll post the picture so you can see it. But then it took a year or so to build the place. It was on 7 acres. The building, like I said, 18,000 square feet, huge A room, B room. There was C room. There was video production. There was a whole pro audio sales department over there. And we had our 61 car parking lot. So it was a major thing. It was on the cover of Mix magazine, and in 2003, but it only took about a year or so for them to run out of money because just the production work that they anticipated to come in just wasn't coming in. Pro audio stuff was doing fine. It just at a certain point, the money from the pro audio, the profits from it were going to pay for the production, and things kind of grinded to a halt. So I resigned and left there, and then went to work for Sigma Sound. And that was 2004. So I was there for about 4 years. But that's kind of how that went from a small facility to this gigantic facility. And in the end, it was taken over by one of the partners. They changed the name from Angel Mountain Sound to Star City Recording. And it was in business for, I think, about 6 years. This guy, Jeff Glicksman, was a producer. He produced a lot of the Kansas records. And then he mixed, and I think he produced the Allman Brothers live at the Fillmore East. So pretty popular guy, but he was a partner in that. But it did 6 years, and then the developer was seeing it wasn't going really any place. It wasn't making the money that he wanted, so he decided to close the place, and they sold the whole place off. I tried to sell it for them, but in the end, all the gear got sold, and what happened is a printing press bought it that makes posters for children to color. And they're still in business. They're still at that facility. So I always joked around saying that they have the best sounding food court in the area, because the money that was spent on that was incredible. The whole floor in the live room, and that was maybe like 50 by 40 feet, was floating. Everything was just built correctly in the place. So there's the Angel Mountain story.